Alrighty, strap yourselves in. This is going to be a rather long one because there's a lot of ground to cover here. But this is my F-14B review of Heatblur's module for DCS World. So, I've done a few videos and some overviews and whatnot of what you get, but I'll just go through the easier part of it quickly here. So, now that you have the module, if you go to Instant Action, if you go to the F-14, takeoff, cold start, free flight, dogfight, landing, air-to-air refueling, case 1 recovery, and refuel flight recovery. That's under the default map. If you happen to own the Nevada map, you actually get, what's nice, a different variety of missions. So you can go against some Gen 3 fighters, Gen 4 fighters, dissimilar training with Fox 2s, dissimilar training with guns only. You could take off from Nellis, you can land at Nellis, area refueling, and the Nevada free flight. If you own the Persian Gulf map, now you get a completely different set of missions. I think this is rather cool because if you look at the F5, you got the same missions for each one. If you go to the F-18, you get a little bit of variety there too. So I think it's on par with the F-15 in terms of, F-18 in terms of what you got going on there, which is nice variety. And again, this is one of the more expensive modules, coming in at $80, and the summer sale just hit on Friday. Today's the 22nd, and I'm putting this video together, and yesterday the 21st the sale begun, and I was kind of bummed out to find that the Tomcat and the other new modules aren't on sale. So in one hand I can kind of understand that because it is new, and I guess this has only been out for a little over 3 months now, and it's hard to believe it's only been that long. But after, if you look at the printed review that I did on my WarGameGuru website, you'll see that I think it's worth every penny of the $80. And I've been one of those people from the start that has said $80 is a lot for any module, and I'd never pay that. But after having seen it firsthand, and even with all the things that are still missing yet, holy shit, I think it's worth it. Because this has been the most fun I've had in like forever. So let's jump into Nevada. We'll do a quick little free flight to give you an idea of what this looks like. Absolutely love the soundtrack too. These guys got a soundtrack from a band called Meteor, and as you can hear, it has that, like, you know, rip-roaring guitar and keyboard-esque kind of sounds that you get from like those B-movie 80s action flicks. Kind of like Iron Eagle. Top Gun was a little different. It had a really good soundtrack too. But you could tell these guys are trying to enter the danger zone, but they're not quite doing it. You know, they've kind of done a thing that is all their own, which I find rather cool. And there's a tape player that's included in here too that you could turn on. I believe it's like Shift N and Shift M. One of them turns it on and the other one turns it off. The only bummer is there's no fast forward or rewind in this thing, which I thought would be kind of cool. Uh-oh, better boost up the throttle there. So as you can see, man, this cockpit is absolutely amazing. Look at like how the shadow and glare is hitting that stick, and you can almost see like the fingerprints in there. 125 70 miles. Hey, there's something I never noticed before. And a friendly Bra 260. Wow. 145 67 miles. Angels 2. And that's Jester, of course, in the back seat. That looks rather impressive. Like fingerprints. I never noticed that to this very moment. I mean, look at all the little textures and detail in the seat and a belt. Those are the things that stood out to me. And then whatever this is, looks like some kind of leather inlay. The weathering details are absolutely amazing. I'm going to kick it up. Hear the burner kick in? Then when you go from the outside. really cool little details all over the place on this thing, man. Like all the little nose steps. And then look in the cockpit, man. Look, Jester kind of looking around, doing his thing. Absolutely amazing. I was headed towards downtown and I made a wrong turn. Let's give this thing some gas and pull some turns. And the flight model is absolutely amazing. You can't yank this thing around like you can the Hornet without expecting to have to make some sort of corrections, because this is one of the last non-fly-by-wire aircraft the Navy used. See? Oh, and there we go. Prime example of what you can't do. Because you will rip the wings off. I pulled super hard. Alrighty. Let's go back to instant action. Let's go to the Persian Gulf. Let's try... Actually, you know what? Let's try this. Since this map's already loaded, it ought to load in a little bit quicker. What do we got? MiG-21s, MiG-23s. Alright, we're ready to go.
It's game time.
It is game time.
12 o'clock.
There goes Jester.
Missile, missile, missile. 12 o'clock. Hot. Brake left.
Brake left, huh? Maybe I want to brake right.
There's a spike on our 5 o'clock.
Come on. Pull out a burn here.
Bandit. MiG-23. 12 o'clock high. 6 miles. Missile. 12 o'clock. Hot. Brake left. 12 o'clock high.
Whoa.
Missile. 1 o'clock high. Hot. 3 o'clock high.
I think I heard Jester kick out some flares or chaff.
8 o'clock high. Bogey. Flogger. 2 o'clock high. 3 miles. Missile missed the target.
Good.
He's on our 6.
Oh,
Do some
shit.
of that pilot shit. 12 o'clock
Give me
high.
some of that pilot shit. Here, Jester?
He's on our 6. Coming right. 2 o'clock.
See what we get. Oh, he is on my 6.
6 o'clock.
Uh-oh, pulling some G's.
5 o'clock.
Uh-oh.
He's coming left. Missile. 3 o'clock. Hot.
Missile.
5 o'clock. Hot. We need to lose him from our 6.
I'm trying.
4 o'clock high. Missile missed. Flogger. 6 o'clock. Fish bed. 6 o'clock high. Coming right. He is on our 6.
Pow.
Flash. Fish bed. 6 o'clock. Missile. 6 o'clock. Hot. He's on our 6. He's gonna fire. We took a hit. Looks like we have some fuselage damage. 12 o'clock.
Hey, there's a first. My engines or my radar didn't go out.
5 o'clock.
That almost never happens. If you take a hit, the engines and the radar usually go out.
Flogger. 1 o'clock.
Come on. Whoa.
Flogger. 12 o'clock. Closing.
I think we just took a hit there.
Right wing is damaged.
Yep.
12 o'clock.
Oh
high.
shit, fire. Right wing is damaged. You mean right wing is gone?
7 o'clock high. 6
How
o'clock
freaking
high.
cool is that?
Oh shit!
Oh shit. I love Jester. Look at this. Maybe if I trim it. That's pretty intense, guys. Gotta love it, man. That is so awesome. And that's just an instant action mission, guys. Like, how fun was that? Let's go Persian Gulf. Let's see, what's this guy? But that's just a prime example. Like, I'm really impressed that that's the first time I've ever taken a hit and it hasn't like knocked out the radar or the engines. And the engines gradually go. You hear kind of like the compressor stalling, and then the thing starts to chug out like an old ass car. Very cool stuff how they've modeled the damage in this. But again, the one thing I've noticed that's a constant is anytime you take damage and get a missile or get guns or something, it's almost, you know, always guaranteed that either the radar goes out or the engines. And I would really like to see them like dig into all the other possible system failures they have modeled and have those occur in addition to that. But it's early access. They've got time to do that. This is technically a beta, so I'm not going to fault them for that yet, because what I'm seeing is very promising. And this has been the most fun I've had in the DCS module yet, man. Like, these guys are on the money. Very cool stuff. So I forget what this mission is, but since I had to load the Persian Gulf map, that's what's kind of taken us a little bit of time here. What do we got here? Oh yes! Ready to go. Look how awesome. So I'm connected up. Make sure my flaps are set. Wings are in auto. I'm ready to go. And all you gotta do, watching my mirror up top here, I'll give them the salute. Let them know I'm ready. Dodge 41, Dark Star, Bra, 3860, at 10,000 knots. Okay, this is kind of a bug that I've noticed. I'm literally ready to go here. And I'm pretty sure I don't have to ask for... launch, because I'm already in launch mode. So let me abort the takeoff. Okay. Now I'm going to request takeoff again. Now let me try the salute again since I'm ready. See, they're not launching me, and I noticed this in a couple of the other missions, and they should be doing that, because I am ready to go. Hooked up. So that's kind of a bummer, but again, early access, anything's possible. But I've noticed that a few times. Sometimes you're ready to go and they just launch you if you give them the salute. Other times, not so much. So, let's go to the missions. Here's what you get in terms of missions. The missions are all very cool, very challenging. But the only thing that I don't like is, like, look, if you get the F-18 and you own the other maps, like, you get a ton of missions with the F-18 for each of the different maps. All those for Nevada, all those for Persian Gulf. And in all fairness, the Hornet is still an easy early access as well. So you get a lot for the default map, which is cool, so you don't have to own the other maps to get some good stuff. But I'm really bummed that the only thing they give you is this Nevada, you know, time trial thing, and then for the Persian Gulf you only get a couple. So that's kind of a bummer. But again, in all fairness, it is early access, I'll say that again, and there's promises of, you know, a lot more stuff to come. And I am able to make my own missions, you know, which is a lot of fun, which I have been doing. My friend and I, who's like a nephew to me, have been going in and doing the front seat, back seat multiplayer thing. And that's another thing, like, you know, two people can go in the same aircraft. Like, this is the front seat, back seat thing that we've wished we had the entire time. Oh. And here's the hard thing, too. I figured this out. Request takeoff.
Field 1-1, request takeoff.
It's really hard. Oh, wait. I hate when this happens. This is how I smacked into things before. Half the time this guy over here gets going before you, the other half of the time you get going before him, and if you're not careful, you'll run into each other, which is a real big pain in the ass. So, this jerk-off needs to get out of my way. Because I was ready to go and get set up. Yeah, so I really can't maneuver myself over there the way I want to because he's literally in my way. And I think if I turn, I'll swing into him. So again, this is random how this happens. Let me go back and let's restart this one.
Springfield 1-1, Overlord, pop-up group 339, Fort 150 at 1000 knots.
Try to get this all lined up before he starts moving. See, he hasn't even moved yet. It's almost like he saw me moving. It's almost like, I don't know, there's no rhyme or reason to the scenario sometimes. This is the tricky part, because you don't want to overshoot this thing, but you want to get lined up with it. And then when you pull back on the throttle sometimes and hit the brake, you almost jump forward a little bit. I got a ways to go here. Whoa.
Overlord, passing waypoint 2 at 8.
Alright, I'm almost there. Now you find this nose wheel strut button here. Where's it at? There it is. Now I'm going to hit this, and it's going to bring me down. See the thing gradually moving downwards? So now, I hit the U key, and I am connected up. Okay, let me see if I can get this right now. Flaps all the way. Open this guy up. Push him all the way forward. Go down. Close this. My wings are all set. Most important part, hit this reset button. And then make sure you're in auto over here. Because if not, your wings get all goofy and you just never get it. And you know, you get up in the air and your things won't, the wings won't start sweeping back and doing it automatically like it should be. I don't think I forgot anything. I'm going to spool it up to about 100%. I think we're all good. Let's give them the old salute. And off we go.
We have a friendly 3-ship bra, 250, 1 mile.
A little shaky. Fix those flaps. And I think the rest of it will be automatic at this point. Although I'm not seeing the wings swing back yet. Let's talk to Jester. What we got going on, Jester? Navigation utility, give
There's
me
a friendly
my first steer
315,
point.
34 miles. Angels 18. Yep, Switching to stew point 1.
Now, hear that? The music just kicked on for this mission, which I thought was rather cool. And then I'm in navigation mode, so I have my heading tape here and here. But if I jump to air mode, I lose my heading tape, and the only thing I got is down here. So it takes some getting used to this thing. There's my guns, there's my sidewinders, there's my sparrows, and there's my phoenixes. If I go down here and flick that to that and hit the backspace, I can see what Jester sees. And if I hit the 2 key, now I'm in the back seat. Let me tell this guy to hold the current. And how about this? We'll let's climb to 5,000 feet. So it's kind of limited what the pilot can do for you, the AI pilot, but it is pretty cool. Now, I'm yet to figure out this back seat thing, but my friend who's been playing with me has figured out a lot of this, and you know, I feel bad doing a review and not knowing the entire back seat yet, but I've learned the front seat pretty good, and I'll get back here yet and give it a shot. But it is rather detailed. I mean, you got a launch button down here. You can literally, like, you know, pick things up with the radar, pick them up, hit the launch button down here, and shoot some missiles from the back seat, which I thought was really freaking cool. So I'm gonna pop back into the front seat now. And the only bummer of online play is, like, you know how I just jumped from back seat now, like that, to front seat? If you're playing online, since the back seat can be occupied by a person, you can't jump back there. Jester will still help you online, but you can't go back there and do anything, because that seat has to be empty for somebody to pull that off. Now, you can jump into somebody else's back seat, because when you go online, there's 2 slots for the F-14 at that point, instead of just 1 for the slot. So anyway, I'm going to jump out of here. You kind of get the idea of what we got going on for the mission. So you can do the whole carrier thing, which is really awesome. Let's go back to campaign. Here's the only bummer. Absolutely no campaign yet. However, if you look in the stuff that they've promised on their website, a campaign for the F-14B and the F-14A are both promised. So that's the thing. They're going to give you a campaign. It's just not there yet. However, all the missions are so much fun and you can make your own that I'm not really missing it yet. But I think it would be really cool, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's see, where was I going now? Lost my train of thought for a second there. Training missions. So they give you a lot, which is really nice. The only thing that I think irritates me, and this has nothing to do with Heatblur, and it's nothing against them or their module, but the training missions in DCS in general, they really assume that you know a lot already. So it's always best to read the manual first and get an understanding for the cockpit familiarity, what everything is, and where you have that stuff bound on your HOTAS devices. But they do have a lot of interesting things. Like, I can go in here and I can't land worth a shit, so I'm gonna botch this, I'm sure. I'm not somebody that lands very often. Actually, I suck at it. And it's probably for lack of practice, to be honest. I think I'm a damn good pilot. I just don't find landing very interesting or very fun. I tend to spend most of my time, you know, locking up bandits and shooting stuff, you know. I mean, I'm the unlimited missiles guy. I hate to say it, but, you know, that's just what I do. I mean, we all play these things the way that, you know, we enjoy them most. And I think mine is, I love to have the most realistic flight model, and I want the weapons to be as realistic as possible, you know, in terms of the modeling and whatnot, and the damage and how they lock on and how they get there, you know. But I just like a target-rich environment. I like that turkey shoot mission. You know, you go in there and there's just a bunch of targets, you know, and it's fun and challenging. That's kind of my thing, you know. This, like, you know, lining up to call the ball, it's not entirely my cup of tea. I think I'll get there eventually. I'm just not there yet, I suppose. I have landed in one of my videos in an emergency landing, which was very cool and very impromptu, over the Persian Gulf. So the F-14 lands rather well. Like I said, just not something I do every day.
Good afternoon, pilot.
Wow.
Today is day one of carrier quals in the F-14B.
You know, I've never done this mission.
Studied the briefing diagram prior to the flight.
Yeah.
One is the visual.
I haven't studied the briefing diagram.
FCLP pattern you used previously. Only difference being the size of the landing area and the arresting gear. Your Rio will help you with the checklist.
Yeah,
You
Jester
are
is
lined up
really
on the
cool.
initial to the boat with your wings swept and the HUD in landing mode. Maintain 800 feet and 350 knots. As in the previous tutorial, a series of gates will help to guide you in the pattern. The carrier will be stationary, but with a strong wind down the deck. If you want, lower the hook for an arrested landing, or keep it raised if you want to make multiple attempts without traffic.
This is rather cool, though. I've never done this before, and they've pretty much given you the gates,
Okay,
so
here
you
we
can
go.
kind of fly the pattern. Of course,
Ascend the
I'm going
steep
way
rate,
too fast.
Bank left 45 to 60
Yeah.
degrees and maintain about a 3G turn at 800 feet. Remember, wings to auto at 280 knots. Try to maintain on-speed AOA, the yellow donut on the AOA indicator, or the E-bracket around the reference point in the HUD. Maintain 600 feet.
Yeah, I've already failed this one, but again, I think you get the
Wing
idea.
sweep, 20 degrees up. Begin your turn when you see the runway.
I just wanted to show you this.
Bank left between 27 and 30 degrees. Maintain on-speed
Yeah, I'm going
AOA
way
and
too
descend at
fast.
about 300 feet per minute.
So anyway, that's one of the training missions. Not my best attempt at this stuff, but, you know, it is what it is. So they give you some nice training missions, which I think is rather cool. And in terms of content, you know, other than going online, that's about it. I mean, I like to go in here and I create these own missions of mine that I like, so I call it, like, you can see, Chaos 1, Chaos 2. This one's rather fun. Wait, I'm not saving. I want to open. Oh, that is, I'm picking save like an idiot. There we go. Let's see, fly mission. And this one's rather cool because I have kind of all the planes that I own in here. So I can, like, get on here with my friends and, you know, we could just jump in and out of planes, and, you know, it's a real target-rich environment with a lot of stuff to shoot down. See, I even have, like, some flankers going on in there, so I could jump in the flankers. But let's jump into one of the F-14s. Very pretty over the default map, even. I threw some bombs on this one too, so I can, like, lob some stuff. Air to ground.
The Bandit 2 ship, GRAW, 265, 30 miles, and the Bandit 3 ship, GRAW, 265, 29 miles.
Air to ground is modeled rather well.
Nails, 11 o'clock, and Nails, 1 o'clock.
I just haven't done a lot of it.
12 o'clock. There is a Bandit, GRAW, 255, 10 miles, and a Bandit, GRAW, 255, 10 miles. Roger that. Gun unlocked. Target, 9 miles. Switching to PSTT. He's on a nose spike, 12 o'clock. Missile, 12 o'clock. Hot. Brake left. Heads up, Nails, 3 o'clock.
Ooh, that one's gonna miss, thank God.
Friendlies, 3 o'clock low. 1 mile. That's an SU-27.
There we go. Let's get this guy.
Bandit, SU-27, 12 o'clock, 4 miles. Nail, 7 o'clock. Missile, 1 o'clock. Hot, bogey, blackjack, 11 o'clock. 16 miles.
Oh,
SU-27,
he just shot a
11
missile.
o'clock. SU-27, 12 o'clock. Missile, 12 o'clock.
Uh-oh. Everywhere.
Falcon, 12 o'clock. 3 miles. Bandit, SU-17, 12 o'clock high. 1 mile.
Missiles everywhere. How
11
fun is
o'clock
this?
high. Hot. Flanker, 6 o'clock. SU-27, 6 o'clock low. Spike, 6 o'clock. Oh, smash.
Come on.
Flanker, 9 o'clock low.
Feeler shuddering.
It is down. Missile, 11 o'clock low. Hot. Flanker, 11 o'clock low. Closing. Shit, missile missed.
Nice.
Hitter, 11 o'clock low.
Well, missed me at least.
5 o'clock low. Missile, 1 o'clock. We've been hit.
Uh-oh.
We've been hit. We've been hit.
There goes the radar.
5 o'clock high. We took some heavy damage. X-17, 6 o'clock high. Closing. Flanker, 5 o'clock.
Feel the engine shuddering. My engines are probably going out next. And I took another hit.
9 o'clock low. Closing. Flanker, 7 o'clock. SU-17, 7 o'clock high. SU-17, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, she's beat up and going out.
SU-17, 5 o'clock.
So this is prime example of taking damage. It looks freaking amazing though, but it's almost guaranteed the radar and the engines are going to go every time. That's one thing they got to work on. Give me some other possible failures, you know? Surprised Jester didn't shoot out yet. He usually like jumps out. Hey, let's drop the fuel tanks, Jester. Yeah, he's done. We're done. Let's see. Quit. Let's get out of here. Let's go back. Go back to instant action since we have Persian Gulf loaded. Let's go BVR. You know, honestly, the one big strength of this thing is the Phoenix missile and the radar and the being able to shoot things at like 60 miles away. I have more fun doing what I just did with AIM-9s and just locking things up quickly and you know, chucking one at this guy, chucking one at that guy, and doing that more than I do the BVR stuff. But is what it is. Again, we all enjoy these things our own way and how we like to enjoy these things. So I'm not going to fault anybody for doing the startup procedure from a cold start and all that. That's what you want to do, do it. You know, you do you. But I've had an enormous amount of fun with this. Like, this is probably the best module I've ever seen yet for DCS World. Man, it's the most fun, man. I just love flying this plane. I love the little nuances, and I think you're made a better pilot after flying this thing because of the limitations. You know, the limitations it has. Pretty much, you know, if you fly this and go back to a Hornet, you're going to be a better pilot. You really will. I totally believe that. So I'm going to go through Jester.
Friendly, Tomcat, 4 o'clock, 1 mile.
So you can have him lock up stuff.
Alright, nails,
You can have him choose TWS targets. Give me the first target. Choose a specific target.
Nails, 4 o'clock. Roger.
Give me the guy that's at 50
Locking.
miles.
Target, 45 miles.
Chuck one at him. Let's go back to Jester. Let's go to the main menu. So you got radio stuff he'll do for you. You could do beyond visual range. You can do within visual range. Oh wait, let's drop the drop tanks.
Tanks are pickled.
Tanks are pickled, so all I gotta do is hit the pickle.
Target,
And
33
drop.
miles. Heads up, nails, 12 o'clock.
So that's pretty cool. You can go in here. Wait, I did it wrong. And you can have them set up different programs for the chaff and the flares.
Spike, 12 o'clock.
All the different options.
Yes, sir.
You can go air to ground. He'll help you with your air to ground game.
Target, 20 miles.
Now I don't get why that missile hasn't hit that guy yet. And as usual,
On the nose, he's watching us.
things.
This is it. Missile, 12 o'clock. Hot. Brake right. Switching to PSTT. Missile, missile, missile. 12 o'clock. Hot. Brake left. Flash.
There we go.
Target, 3 miles. .29, 12 o'clock high. 1 mile.
Slammed. Nice.
The Bandit is down.
So back to Jester. This is weird. Drop the tanks, but I've already dropped them.
Jettisoning bags.
So I don't get that. Let's see. Crew contact utility. Navigation utility. You can set the steer point for you.
Switching to steer point 1.
You can tell them to change the radar. Elevation, azimuth, scan distance. Give me 200 miles, Jester.
Roger.
They'll change everything to 200 miles. And again, if you go in here, you can see what he sees. And down here is your navigation mode, air to air, air to ground, all the fun stuff. Again, cockpit's absolutely amazing in this. I'm hauling ass, so my wings are swept back. I'm going to give it too much gas. Thankfully the wings are swept back. I won't rip the wing off completely. But you could definitely get her to shutter pretty quick, see? You can't do that in a Hornet, man. You just bank that stick on a Hornet and it goes. It goes where you point it. This one though, you can end up in a flat spin. And I've done it before. And I've recovered from it. Half pure luck, half knowing what the hell to do. So anyway, that's that. What else am I missing? As you can tell, the sounds are awesome. The visuals are absolutely amazing. The missions you get are super fun that are in there. You can make your own. And there's a lot of stuff coming. You know, they have modeled the lantern. They have modeled air-to-ground stuff. You could chuck bombs. And Jester will help you with a lot of that stuff. The Jester AI is freaking fabulous. And if you go to online multiplayer, you know, like anything, there's tons of servers out there, and I guarantee you, any one of these that you log into, there's going to be a lot of dudes flying the Tomcat, because it's the flavor of the month, but it's more than just the flavor of the month. It's probably the best damn module that you can buy for DCS World. It's just that good. It really is. Like I said, overall, for being an early access module, for the things that are in there and the things that are missing, you know, at $80, it's very promising. And I'm the first person that would say that $80 is a lot for a module. But man, after I've seen this, holy crap. So much fun. Absolutely so much fun. And for a more in-depth look and things I probably forgot to mention, since I'm kind of doing this on the fly as a video, if you go over to the link that I'm going to put at the bottom of the video to my written review over at my website at the WarGameGuru, you could find tons of screens and a lot more in-depth info about my experience with the F-14 from Heatblur. And again, things still to come are the F-14A. Campaigns for both F-14A and F-14B, and one thing I have to give them credit for too, they've been really good about updating this and progress in the early access. If you look at the last update they did, I swear to God, it was like a page long. You know, Heatblur has been on top of things, unlike, you know, some of the other modules that are out there that people complain never get the love that they need being in early access still. I'm confident these guys are going to really do a good job with this, and I have an interview set up I'm going to be doing an interview with these guys here soon, and I'm going to post that here on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to link to it over at my website at the WarGameGuru as well. And if you guys have any questions you would like to have answered by the Heatblur team, please get them to me. You can leave them in the comments section down below. But it's going to be a really good one. I don't know if most people realize this. This is something I used to do for a living back in the mid 90s into the early 2000s. I used to have a show called The Combat Reporter Live with the All Games Network, where I actually interviewed these people live via Real Video, Real Audio for the All Games Network and Pseudo Programs Inc., which was good times. So I think this is going to be rather cool, and it's something I want to do more of, and I'm going to start to do more of here on the channel, is do some live interviews with these people. So any questions that you would like to have answered, feel free to put them in the comments section, and I'll be glad to try to have them included if I get them before I perform the interview. But it's going to be good fun. They're going to have the whole team available for me. So like I said, I really hope you found something in the video that you can take away from it, and I think it's great fun. The only bummer is it's not on sale right now, but it is only 3 months old. I'll give them that. Also, I see that Eagle Dynamics isn't giving any bonus cash for buying it from their website, so I would highly suggest buying it directly from the Heatblur website. And if you need a second module, and multiplayer is absolutely amazing. Like I said, me and my friend have been doing it, and it's so much fun to have two people in the cockpit at the same time, splitting some of the workload. And they have a little bonus deal. If you buy the crew bundle, you get like I think $5 or $10 off or something. It's not a hell of a lot, but hey, it's something. It's more than you're going to get from the Eagle Dynamics website right now, because they're not giving you any bonus cash at all. And I'd love to see these guys get as much money in their pockets as possible, because the hard work they've done is very apparent here. And again, this is, I've been writing about PC simulations for the computer since like the early 90s, you know what I mean? And like I've seen it all. And it's a good time to be in simulations, guys. It really is. This is like one of the best modules I've ever seen yet for DCS. And it's so much fun. I just picked up the F5, and I'm still going back to this. But I only picked up the F5 because of this, because the only thing that drove me crazy in this, not to get off track again, is the fact that there are no digital, altimeters or speedometers in this thing. So like, it was really, really hard to get over that, because I'm used to all the modern sims that have all that data in the HUD. And you don't have as much data going on in the HUD in the Tomcat as you do in like an F-15 or an F-18 or an F-16, But that has made me a better pilot, I think. And the F5 is kind of like that, and that's why I gave it a shot, because I wanted to see another plane that was from this era. And it's super fun, man. And again, this isn't a fly-by-wire plane, and it shows, but holy crap, this thing can do everything that you can do on most any other plane, and probably better. You just have to be the pilot. You have to move those surfaces. You have to engage the rudder. You have to pretty much, own that stick and fly this plane to its limits, know when its limits are occurring, and give the appropriate input to correct, Super fun stuff. So anyway, again, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel. If there's any questions for the Heatblur team, please put them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot.